Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and I'm trying something a bit heavier today. I'm going to play the solo mode in Civolution, and disclaimer that I got a review copy of this one. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our weekly podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So if you haven't seen Civolution before, I'm not going to explain all of the rules at the outset. I'll kind of explain actions and things as they happen. But the game is played by 1 to 4 players on a modular board that you put together. So I have randomized these tiles out here. They've got these little locations, special things that could be explored in between them. And they're divided up into different territories, each with a different type of terrain. So like this is a mountain territory here, a water territory, swamp. And even when you have the same type next to each other, like these two swamps, they are their own territory. And you have these little meeples on the board representing the tribes of each player. In solo, you have an automa, in this case, the yellow player, and red is going to be me. And they're on these encampments in the territories, which are little areas you can stay on. You can also be in the wilderness on a territory, which means you're not in an encampment and it's harder to keep you fed. And these tribes can be weak, where they're knocked down from an activity, or strong. When they're weak, they're closer to starving and being taken off the board. Each of the territories has a resource type that it provides. So there are 3 grasslands, there are 3 forests, and those correspond to these types over here. So you have a less and more expensive type of resource for each location. There's also half the player board, so you have these buildings you can build. You have your money and your food, gold tiles you're going after. You also have these blank spaces here that you'll be filling in with cards and other things, which will earn you endgame victory points. And then the main aspect of the game for actions are over here. These are all the modules you can activate using pairs of dice, because this is a Feld game, and it has a little bit of Castles of Burgundy style stuff going on, if you've seen or played that one. And the game is played out over 4 rounds. Each round will have a bunch of phases, the main one being the action phase, where we'll go back and forth taking actions. Whenever we reset and get our dice back, this little token will move. When it gets down here for 2 players, it will trigger the end of the round. Then we go through the site phase, feeding phase, event phase, income phase, repeat it all over again. And we're trying to get the most victory points at the end of 4 rounds. And the game has a ton of variety in what is valuable each play. So first of all, in each of the rounds, each of the eras, you're going to score one thing at the end of that era. So this is out of the 9 potential scoring categories, 4 of them. Here we've got 3 of the sort of research tracks. And then also what's called prosperity, which is like money and resources you've collected. And here are the resource tracks over here, because this is kind of a Civ Empire game. And then also at the end of the game, you're going to score everything again, but 3 of those scoring types have randomly been selected to be worth more at the end of the game. In this case, expanding different territories, and 2 more of these tech tracks, prestige and knowledge. And that leaves 2 of the scoring types that are not worth as much. In my game, it's going to be population, so it's not as important for us to expand and have a ton of people, and evolution. It's not as important for us to evolve our population's kind of statistics, as you'll see. And there's just a lot going on, but again, I don't want to get into all of it. I'll just kind of explain as we go and show how things started in setup. So in the beginning of the game, you're going to start out with 1 card from each of the 5 tech decks. These are cards that you can develop, and then again, they will get slotted in onto your board, but they'll also give you either ongoing or immediate bonuses, and they often cost resources to build. And in the advanced game, you draw 2 of them from each category and then pick one, which I've already done. If you're starting out, they have starting hands that go well together. You can actually see on some of the cards I chose these, like hand number 3 would have all the cards with number 3, hand number 6 would have all the 6s. I also chose a starting markers card, which is how I got my starting resources and traits, and everyone starts with the same stuff here. And then finally, I picked a starting chips card, which determines my first income token, or card in this case, which always gets slotted in up there in the upper right. And it also upgraded one of my modules from level 1, you can see like a little 1 line there, to level 2. It's my achievement tile here. If you upgrade it again to level 3, you take it out, and the level 3 version is actually printed inside of the board. So yeah, we'll just go through, and I'll teach you how the game works if you haven't seen it before. And I'll try my best to win, although I lost my last 2 games on the easiest automa difficulty, so I'm not holding out too much hope here, but we'll see how things go. All right, so step number 1 in each era is new cards. First, we reveal the top card of the event deck. And here it is. Let me talk about what's going on. We've got the title, A Feast for Agera, at the top. It shows us how the weather is going to alter. In this case, it's going to get 1 step hotter, but this is not until the end of the round. And then also we've got an effect that will happen also at the end of the round. The civilization with the most statues gains a free income tile, but only if you have the sole majority. So none of that is happening until the event phase after we've done a ton of stuff. It just gives us some information. Specifically, the weather getting 1 hotter is going to let us activate one of our income tiles, so it's not a negative thing. But if the weather goes too far in the cold or hot direction, we can lose population, have to spend more food, negative things like that. Now, additionally, in this new cards phase, we're going to flip the top card for each of these decks, creating the initial face-up pile for each one. If we have existing cards in future eras from previous rounds, we just flip the new cards on top. Next, we go to new goals. Each of us gets the chance to pick one of these goal tiles. In 2-player, there's only 4 up at a time. And these are little things you're trying to achieve, like here having 2 tribes next to a certain type of special tile, here having built 2 buildings, or this one that I randomly started with is just spending a specific resource, in this case, sand. These goals can be placed in the spots above your board to earn victory points, because each row is worth victory points. But additionally, whenever you complete a goal, you get to upgrade one of your modules to make your actions better. I randomly determined the Automa would go first. They have this little monument token. And they don't do all of these phases, but in the goal phase, they will roll a die. If they get a 1, 2, 3, or 4, they will trash that goal. They don't actually benefit from it at all. If they get a 5 or 6, or if they get a goal that I've already taken, they'll do nothing. In this case, they're getting rid of this one. That was going to be for having 3 or more on the construction technology track. All right, now I can take one. I don't have to, but I'm definitely planning to build at least 1 building card this round, so a second building card sounds doable. And then after all players have potentially taken some tiles or not, you refill in any blank spaces from this bag. Okay, next we have the extra fine step, which the Automa doesn't do at all. But I get to take any terrain type that I have at least 1 tribe located in. In this case, I have somebody to start in the forest and the grassland. That's how it always goes. And the actual resources that are being produced there is gold for the grassland and wood for the forest. That was randomly determined. But for the extra fine, I get to take one of my tokens, and I can get any of the resource types, not just the ones that are produced there, for any of those things that my tribes are in. So I could get gold or oil, which is worth 3 money if I sell it, or what I think I'm going to do is get wood. Yes, I can already produce it in the location I'm sitting in, but I have 2 different cards that need wood to purchase, so I figure that's a good thing to start with. Okay, now we get to the meat of the game, which is the action phase. And the Automa is going to take the first turn. And there are a ton of actions in the game, so I'm just going to kind of talk through them as they come up. The Automa's also got a bunch of rules for tie breaking and stuff in here. But what they do on their turn is they flip the top card of this deck, and you see what they're going to do. On easy difficulty, what I'm playing on, we're always going to do the left effect, which is a little bit less. Like here, the red effect gives them some bonus victory points. That's what that little curving symbol there is. But here, they're just going to do this effect on the left. And how higher difficulties work is you start using the red effects in the later eras. So on the next difficulty, I would just use reds in era 4. Higher difficulty than that, I'd use the red effects in era 3 and 4. But I'm a wuss, and I've been losing, so I'm just doing blue the entire game. So it says they're going to benefit this era's scoring category twice. And we look, and what's being scored at the end of this era is this technology track token here. And we look, and okay, they're going to raise themselves up twice. So they've got these little stackable tokens, and they're now on the 2. As you raise up these tracks, you'll pass these little lines that lead to different bonuses. The only bonuses the Automa cares about are these ones at the top that give them bonus victory points. They don't benefit from these other ones at all. But now what they've done is, at the end of Era 1, we're going to each score 5 victory points for each of our tech track advances we've done for that. So they've just earned 10 victory points straight up. Not bad. Now this card is going to stay here and be splayed with the other cards as they get played, because the Automa's cards are going to have these little icons here. Here there's a single blue one. Here I'm going to just pick a random card. Like this one has a blue and a red. And this is going to determine when they reset, because for a player, you'll slowly run out of action dice, and eventually you have to kind of take a null turn to get your stuff back. For the Automa, that happens whenever the icons add up, like here, to at least 4 blue icons and at least 4 red icons. Then they don't resolve the card at all. and instead they discard all the cards and kind of start over. But here we just got a single blue, so nothing's happening yet. All right, now we get to our turn, and we can, just like them, do an action or reset. Although we cannot reset until we have 3 or fewer dice in our action areas here. In future turns, when I need to reset, I'll roll my white dice and I'll put them in these different spaces. At the beginning of the game, you start with 1 of each value to give you a lot of flexibility. And to take an action, I'm going to pick 2 dice, and the meeting of their values, like here 1 and 3 would do the migration action. 1 and 4 would do exploration. 2 and 5 would do procreation. So you're like combining the values to determine what you're going to actually do and build. But you can modify your dice values some. These idea tokens here can modify any die roll up or down 1, and 1 to 6 and 6 to 1 is also possible. So let's say I wanted to do, I don't know, a like double 2 action. I could spend 1 idea to change this 1 into a 2 so that I could do that. You also start with 1 of your markers in the focus area, which can be used as basically a wild die for any value. So if I wanted to do like a double 4 right now, I could just do that and boom, good to go. The double actions, by the way, will increase these features down here. Like I could make my species of people more intelligent or more dexterous, which is worth victory points at the end of the game, although in this game that was one of the 2 things that is not worth anything extra, so it's not worth a lot, but also they are required to play a lot of cards. Like look, this cartography card requires a 2 eyeball, vision or greater. You don't spend anything on like this -1 papyrus, it means you need to actually spend that resource. They just check if you have enough vision. Actually, we got 2 cards that need 2 vision, so I do want to make that happen at some point. That is a double 6 to raise up my vision. Oh, it starts at 0 and I need 2, so maybe that won't happen for a while. But what I want to do this time is actually the action that got upgraded at the beginning of the game for me, which is the achievement action. So I'm going to spend a 6 and a 5. They go under your player board here. And most of these actions will have an option. So for achievement, I can either get some more dice, or I can play an achievement card that I can afford, slotting it into my area here. So all these 6-column actions either let you slot a specific type of card, if you can play it, or do something else. But here I'm going to get the dice, which comes from this little dice area here. I'm getting a white die, which is going to give me more action options, give me more roll diversity, means that I have to rest less frequently. That's always nice. And my action's also going to give me one of these fate dice, which are rolled for a whole bunch of things. The more you have, the more likely you are to benefit. So it's nice to get all this at once. And I'm only getting both because of my level 2 achievement tile. If it was level 1, I would pick one or the other, but I get the little benefit here. And whenever you gain a new action die, you immediately roll it. I got another 4. Now you'll notice this track of dice is finite. There are 3 per player of each type in a 2-player game. What happens is if all of them are taken, you can still take the action and get the dice, but you steal them from the other player that has the most of that colored die instead of taking them from the track. And the bot will do that sometimes, so it's definitely not necessary for me to try to get all those dice. It won't be worth it anyway. And that's my entire action, so on one turn I'll either use 2 dice to activate a module, or to do one of these, or you always have this sleep module, which you can use for any 2 dice, which gets you 2 more ideas, or one of those wild focus tokens, just so you can make sure you can do something later. But we're back to the bot. Oh, geez, they're doing this era's category again. Well, here I was thinking I would build my buildings and get a whole bunch of those gears, and maybe not. All right, coming back around to me, let's see what some of my options are without doing any idea or focus mitigation. I could do sustenance for a 2 and a 4. That would let me hunt. That's what this left option is, because at the end of the round, I'm going to need to feed my people. I start out with 1 food, and at the moment, I have 2 meeples that need to be fed, so I'm already in a deficit. And if I procreate and start making more people, that'll become even worse. I could also do the planning action, which is how you complete your goal tiles. Remember, I've got one that requires sand, and I've already got the sand from the beginning of the game ready to go. Those are the only ones that really interest me. You know what? What the hey? Let's go ahead and do some planning first. So I could either gain 2 tokens on 1 dice space, which would basically become free dice of that value for the future, which can be super good. Like I wanted some eyeballs, I could plan and put both of them on there. And then whether I rolled 2 6s or not, I've got 2 6s ready to go. In fact, that actually sounds like kind of a good idea. Should I do that instead of doing the goal thing? Because I am looking, I do have, yes, a way to get a second eyeball here. If I build the guard tower, which only requires 1 wood, which I have, I would go up on a track I don't care about yet. Oh, but that's the one for the next era, so that's still valuable. And I would get a heart, stamina, and a vision for my people. That's nice. You can also, by the way, take the mutation action, which lets you take one of your traits, one of your features, and just move it to a different one. So I could gain vision that way. But that's not important yet. I'm going to go ahead and finish up this goal. So I spend the sand. And then I flip this over and I have to put it somewhere in my spot. All right, now I'm going to, by the way, these cards aren't really here. I'm just leaving them there for me to look at. I'm going to install this gold chip in my stage partition. That's what this whole area is called. And I can put it in any row. Now, these ones are weird because they are half size. So let me explain this with a card. It's a little bit clearer to understand. So you would slot it in, and it becomes part of its given row. So this is stage 1. Each thing in stage 1 is worth 2 victory points. Each thing in stage 2 is worth 3. Each thing in stage 3 is worth 4. And then 7 and then 10, but stage 4 and stage 5 aren't scored yet unless you resolve an effect that flips them to make them activated. But the really important thing about installing stuff is that for most things you install, once you put it in a given column, you have now locked every single card or tile of that type to that same column. In fact, the only thing that is wild and can go wherever you want are income chips that you gain, usually from putting out these settlements. So if I put a mutation here in stage 2, I would then need to put all my other mutations going above it in stage 3, 4, and 5. And the gold chips work the same. So putting them higher up, and by the way, they also get their own column, but you can build up like one half or the other or stack them up. But yeah, putting them higher is going to make them worth more victory points, but I'm also locking myself into not earning victory points for as many of them. You also get a bonus for filling entire rows. I mean, how many gold chips am I realistically going to get? I think the answer to that is probably not more than like 4 or 6. So maybe. Yeah, maybe I'll just start it right there. So that's now worth 3 victory points for me. But for the rest of the game, I can only put goal things here and here. Coming back to the bot. Okay, this time they're doing the 4th era scoring category. There are other types of cards in here, by the way. In this case, they're going up that track, which is what? Culture. And they're now at 2 blue and 2 red. So halfway to a reset. Speaking of a reset, I could do one now because I'm at 3 dice or fewer, but I'd rather keep my momentum going. So what was I going to do? Oh, sustenance. That's right. Let's go ahead and hunt, get my food situation in order. So when you hunt, you pick 1 territory with your tribes. And sorry, this is all very vertical because I couldn't fit all these boards side by side and still record. You've got this hunting table in each terrain type. In this case, I can do grasslands or forest. Forest is a little bit more likely to give me 3, the most I can get. Water is the best terrain of them all. And here's one of those situations where having 2 fate dice gives me a bonus because I can pick whether I want to use a 6 or a 5. I could, by the way, also use my ideas to modify fate dice when they're rolled. But here I'll obviously pick a 5 to get 3 food. And importantly, I put one of these hunting tiles down here because each territory can only be hunted by a single player each round. So now yellow will not be able to hunt there. And food gets filled in top to bottom and then left to right because for the prosperity goal, one of the things you get scored at the end, that's based on how many of these gems you have. So every 3 food is worth 1 gem, every 2 money is worth 1 gem. You also get them from completing these settlements. But anyway, the important thing is I've got enough food now to feed my people, even if I procreate a couple of times. By the way, the other option for the sustenance action is to take one of your weak tribes and flip it back to its strong stance, which means it's less likely to die. It has more actions available to it, but clearly I didn't need to worry about that yet. All right, and this next one, is one of each. So they're at 3 and 3 now. But for this, I'm going to roll a die and resolve whichever action. Oh, and they're going to hunt. This is funny. I'm glad that I did this. But yeah, I'm going to roll a die for them and resolve whichever action results. By the way, there is a free online app for the game that runs all these die rolls and things. You just basically click for the next Automa card and they tell you what to do. It's a nice, simple way to run things, but I'm showing you the basic way on the actual ground. I don't know what I'm talking about here. I've showed you the way to do it with the physical components. So they're getting 1 prosperity and they're going to hunt once. So for their prosperity and also for their features, their like metamorphoses things, they just keep track here. So now they're at 3 prosperity. They're at 3 crystals for scoring and such. And then for hunting, they don't actually gain anything. They just lock down a territory, so I can't use it. And their first preference is for a place where we are cohabitating, so they can lock me out of hunting. And they want the best territory possible. So they would have actually gone through the woods if we had not already hunted there. But instead, they're going to hunt over here in the grasslands. So now there is no hunting to be had unless we migrate to other territories. All right, going back to me, I am very much out of stuff to do. I mean, I could use the one in my focus as a wild to still do an action, but why do that when I could just reset? So when I reset, I'm going to take the leftmost of these little tokens here, and I'm going to move it through A, B, and C, resolve these steps. So first I'm going to do A and move the token. That's on the action phase, keeping track of how many turns we've had and when the era is going to end. Then I get to roll dice. So I have to roll these 6. I can choose to keep the 1 or roll it. Do I want a 1? You know, I kind of do. The invention I want to build that I already have the wood for needs a 1. So sure, I'll leave the 1. And I roll the rest, and I just put them out. I got another one, wherever they ended up. Okay, so I got a lot of stuff, but no 3s and no 5s. Okay, then finally, this token comes off, and it becomes either a food or an idea. Well, I'm good on food, although I could start building up for next time, and prosperity is what's being checked in Era 3, so just having a whole bunch of food would not hurt. But I could also get, let's get ideas for now. It's nice to have the mitigation. And now it's the bot. They have a decent chance of resetting. Oh, they did not, because look, they are at 4 blue, but not 4 red. Okay, this is a terrible card, too. It's really good for them. They're going to improve the 3 bonus scoring tiles, the ones that are worth more at the end of the game. 1, 2, 3. So for the tracks, it's pretty easy. They just advance. Oh, not that one. Sorry. There we go. But for expansion, it's a bit different. They're instead going to resolve a migration action. So let's show you how that works. So when you migrate, you take one of your strong tribes. It has to be a strong one. And then they can move to any adjacent place, which means it shares a border. You can't move across these tiles. Those are like little special things, but they don't actually allow travel. You also can't move into water. You have to build boats before you can do that. Now, what's extra annoying here is that the Automa gets a double action if they don't have any territories with 2 people in them. It means they get to procreate for free, which is just annoying. So we look at the procreate action. It says their priority is a territory. There's at least 1 free encampment. And currently there's 1 here and 1 here. You'll see a bunch of them are covered up at lower player counts. Now, when you have multiple encampments that fit the priority, in this case they have a free encampment, you're going to roll on this card to figure out which type they're going to. So 5 is hills, no desert, no forest, because we had a grassland and a forest that were eligible, because you have to procreate in a space that already has your tribes. So they're going to procreate into the forest. And by the way, if multiple forests were eligible, I would roll another d6, and they're each marked with 1, 2, or 3 of these little lights, so that helps you determine which one to use then. Then they have this whole priority table for where they want to go, but the easy one is they want to go on the fire encampment, because those earn you immediate victory points. So here they're just getting 1 victory point for free. Right there. Okay, and then they're going to migrate. It has to be a place where they already have 2 tribes, and at least one of them is strong, because only strong tribes can migrate. So here it's going to be from here. And they prefer to migrate from the wilderness, and then from the fire encampment. Might seem weird, but that's because they want to free it up so they can procreate there again. And then in terms of where they want to go, it's actually completely open. It's just anywhere that doesn't have any of their people or the fewest people. So here they could go to a hill, a mountain, or a desert. So once again, we're rolling for it, and we got 5, which is hills. Okay, so they are going from the fireplace to this fireplace up here. Get some 2 more victory points. And when you migrate to a territory for the first time, you get to develop it, which means you flip over its resource token and you get to find out what it can make here. In this case, this is clay, the second hill resource. And then if they were a player, they would get to put 1 token here as a resource. So I didn't say, but these starting things here are wood and gold, but I have to actually gather them to take them to my board and use them. But the Automa doesn't do that. They never keep track of any resources or anything, so they just move in and discover some clay. But remember, they're doing that because in this game, at the end of the game, every single territory they have people in is going to be worth 3 victory points instead of its normal 2. That's why they preferred to go there with the card they drew. Our background, I totally forgot to upgrade something. Whenever you complete a goal, you get to upgrade one of your modules. What the heck did I want to upgrade? I was thinking either production or buildings. I think I'll do buildings this time, because there are a lot of cool, powerful things you want to put down on the board. And getting building level 2 lets you put down 2 of them for a single action, which is really nice. And hey, speaking of building, let's go ahead and do that action for a 4 and a 6, but I'm not building the actual thing. Where is my building card? Oh, wait, I didn't want building. I wanted invention. So hold on. Let me put this stuff back. I'm still going to upgrade building. But yeah, instead of a 4 and a 6, I'll use a 1 and a 6, which lets me spend my 1 wood to do the invention. Oh, sorry, I didn't talk about why there's like all these different costs. These correspond to whichever stage you build them into. So if you build them into stage 1, you only have to pay this first cost. If you build them into stage 2, you got to do the first 2. Stage 3, stage 4, and so on. Now you can always choose to treat it as being a higher stage because you'll see some of the building things you do get you victory points. But here I'm just going to do the basic stage 1. So I'm moving my technology up twice, my culture up once. And then it does nothing else for me. I'm just starting out my inventions, and the future ones will have to go up there. All right, so 1 culture and 2 technology. Now I cross the line and it says track color upgrade. What that means is I get to look, technology corresponds to the 1s, and I can upgrade any of the tiles that has a 1. So I could research and gain cards better, I could migrate better, could explore more effectively. Ooh, transport is a nice one. Or invention to use more. Yeah, I think I'm going to do the transport one. So before I could have pulled up to 3 goods off the board to bring them to my actual usage. Now I can do it for 6, which is just a crazy amount. Of course, I got to produce them first with the production action, which is not upgraded. So might want to get that one too. Now the other one I'd like to build before the end of this era is one that'll get me 2 more tech, but I need iron ore for that. And that's made on mountains, but currently I don't have any, and none of the mountains have been revealed yet to get it. I could buy it with the sale purchase action, but if it hasn't been discovered yet, so it's not like located in any of the territories on the board, it costs 4 money instead of 2. So that's pretty dang expensive. And I have to take a whole action just to get the ore first. I don't know. Maybe I'll just give up getting more technology. But all right, I fully expect the bot to, they got 2 reds, wow. So they've now got at least 4 blues and at least 4 reds. They don't do anything on the card they just drew. It just gets discarded. Here, we'll kind of do like that for the discard pile. And that's their first reset. So we are now 1, 2, 3 resets away from triggering the end of the era. But when it's triggered, we get 1 more full set of turns for each of us. So it's not like an immediate thing. All right, I kind of want to procreate just like they did so I can maybe like go out to one of the mountains. There's 2 right next to me. And I've got the food to keep them going. So sure. So procreation is a 2 and a 5. So let's use one idea to change this 4 into, there it is, a 5 and one of my 2s. And just like they did, I get to procreate. And I'd rather be where they're not as crowded. So let's procreate into this fire spot for 1 victory point. And then I can do a migration later into this mountain. See if maybe I'll get lucky and that's iron. Or even if it's not, I can still use it for something. All right, bots next. And what are they? Ooh, wow, 2 and 2. Okay, we're rolling again. And we got a 1. So they're going to increase their green track up again. And then this means they are going to trash the face-up green card. The topmost one if there were more than 1. But anytime that the face-up cards are empty, they just flip another one. Oh, it's another eyeball. God, so many eyeball things. All right. I'm definitely going to re-roll in a second here, but I did want to try migrating to the rock. So I could use an idea to change the 2 to a 3 or the 4 to a 3, but I want to get production, which is a 3 and a 5, never mind. Or not production, I want to get transport, which is a 1 and a 5. Yeah, no, this is helpful. Whatever, I'll change that to a 3, 1 and 3, I'm going to migrate. This is basically identical to how the bot did it. I'm actually not going to migrate away from the fireplace because, maybe I will, because otherwise when they procreate again, they'll just push me off of it into the wilderness. And when you're in the wilderness, you need twice as much food to survive, so it just kind of sucks. So yeah, I'll move over here and get 2 points. And yes, that was a 1/3 chance. Okay, so yes, that is the ore I want. I still need to actually pull it back to use it, but now I have a chance to get that other building. That's awesome. But it does mean I'll have to reset in another second. All right. Whoa, they already got, wow, this is really fast. It's going to kind of speed me up too. They got another green, which is worth double, so I don't love that they're getting that. At least I didn't do anything else, so that's fine. And yeah, I'm going to reset because I'm down to 1 die. And as I said, I don't really want a 4 for anything, so let's pull these all off. Oh, sorry, this is going down like that. And what have I got? 1, 2. Man, I didn't get any 6s. Okay, but I did get 3 and a 5, so that's good. Or no, 1 and a 5, which is good for the transport that I wanted. And then I think I'll get this as an idea, because again, I didn't get any 6s or 4s. All right, they'll definitely be resetting as well, unless they're really... Nope, there we go. That is 4 reds. Yep, so they are doing nothing. And we are very close to the end of the era, so let's try to get that thing built. But first I need to collect my iron ore, so for a 5 and a 1, I am transporting up to 6. So I'll grab some gold, some wood, and some iron. Meanwhile, they are doing... Oh, the next era is scoring twice, which is 2 on blue, which they've not done yet. By the way, I've never been able to keep up with them. They're just insane on these tracks. Okay, I have the iron ore now. But for insight, I need a 3 and a 6. So let's use an idea to change that 5 into a 6 and then do the 3. And it lets me either gain 3 ideas or do an insight installation. And I can't afford the second one, so I'm just going to do it in stage 1. Go in and fill in here. When you get your 4 things filled in here, you get a free income chip, and you get to resolve it immediately, which is nice. By the way, magnetism is not only increasing this by 2, but it's also going to give me 1 point for everything in its column at the end of the game, so kind of makes me getting more insight cards a bit more valuable. It's like I just figured out magnets. How do they work? Who the heck did that song? Was that like Insane Clown Posse? No. Anyway. Okay. But yes, 2 technology, which is getting me... Ooh, I'm past them. So I can either get an Agera increase or an income. Let me talk about Agera. So I haven't shown this yet, but this track here has a few things going on. First of all, if we build what are called statues on these building grounds, which right now we have 1 in the center of the water that we can't get to. But if we build statues, we get free victory points every round, and it's equal to however far our Agera token is. We can also move this token backwards whenever one of our people is about to die to keep them alive, but the main usage of it is this thing down here. Because there are a ton of actions in the game that'll give you a bonus if you have this little Agera favor check here. So see here, I would get to put 2 goods down from production and then potentially grab one of them, transport one. But I have to do an Agera favor check. So I roll my fate dice, another reason that it's good to have 2. And right now, only a 1, well, I got 1, would work. But if I go here, a 1 or 2, well, if I just roll 1s, I guess I don't need to do it. But yeah, so it makes it more and more likely that with your fate dice, you can get bonus actions from things. So my other option, the only income I have, is to either place a good or gain an idea or gain a food. So now, man, let's go ahead and up that. I feel good there. All right, so I'm going to get a bunch of points at the end of the era. That's nice. What are they doing? They're rolling for it again, and... Okay, they got 1 feature, and... Oh, hunting. Well, that doesn't matter. Oh, no, I guess they can hunt in this one spot that they're alone in. But yeah, this is just straight-up victory points for them, although it's only worth 1. These spots that are on the track indicate that they're going to get rid of these income or attribute tiles, or chips they're called. Income tiles give you free income at the end of each era, but then you can also activate them with some actions, and you get those from building settlements, or as I already mentioned, finishing 1 row of your little installation area. Attribute chips require you to have a ton of a certain feature, like here, 4 of, what is that, composure, and then lose 1, but you can do it at any point on your turn. You don't even need an action, and they give you like a really cool kind of, I don't know, evolution for your species that makes you have some awesome powers. All right, what should I do here? I've got a 2 and a 3 left. Activity lets you resolve 1 activity on your board. Right now I only have 1. It is to pay 1 gold, to go up on 1 track, which could be tech and would get me 5 more victory points in a second. That might be worth doing. Oh, wait, I never spent the iron ore for that card. I wish I had more iron ore. I mean, alternatively, I could reset now and then what? Try to build that with the wood? Because that would get me halfway to the eyeballs I need. It would get me a blue, which is worth more next era. I guess there's no hurry for me to do that. Yeah, I'm really not sure. Actually, I am going to do activity, and I am going to spend 1 gold from my supply over here to raise up not tech, but actually construction, because that's going to score next era. So I'm really only giving up 1 victory point from not pushing construction more. But that also means when I build the guard tower, I will get another upgrade to one of my actions. I mean, I don't know if that was worth it. Maybe I should have just passed. All right, they are not resetting yet. What are they doing? They are getting, 1 more tech, so they tied me for 20 points too, those jerks. All right, now though, I'm definitely going to reset. So that will start the end of the turn timer. I'm going to reroll everything. And okay, I got a ton of 4s. I don't love that. And then I think I'll get an idea for that. And whenever this gets triggered, we finish out the turn. But since I was the second player, that already is the finish of the turn, which means we each get 1 more action. Although it's possible they'll just reset. Nope, they only have 3 blue. And they are getting another prosperity. And then what final action do I want to do? Well, let's see. I could go ahead and do the building I was talking about. This guard tower. That'll use my 1 wood because I'm trying to finish up this row and get a second income chip. Oh, wait, I didn't even look at what it was giving me. Whoops. So I'm getting 1 observation or vision, 1 stamina. The vision's what I really care about. And then 1 of the cartography construction one, which, as I mentioned, is getting me a 4, a blue upgrade. All right, so what do I want to do? Exploration, sustenance. What is level 2 sustenance? Now I could bring back 3 of my guys instead of 2. Meh. Planning's decent, because then I can get 3 tokens with a single action on 1 space, so I can really get a ton of flexibility to like do more actions of a specific type. Production, though, ooh, that would get me to 3 and automatically gathering up 1, which would make my transport a lot better. Yeah. Oh, wait, no, that doesn't have any blue. I'm sorry. Or sale purchase, or I could do building again, which would what? Let me build any 2 buildings instead of 2 of the same type. Holy crud, that's good. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So building is maximized now. And the card actions, when they're fully upgraded, are nice. You can either do a second card of the same type as part of 1 action, so I could do 2 buildings, or you could ignore 1 of the costs on the buildings, like I wouldn't have to do the wood, but only if you are doing at least 1, if at least 1 is active. So like I couldn't ignore the wood if that was the only thing I was paying. By the way, I didn't say, but these little things down here show things that can make you ignore costs. So here, if I had 3 settlements or 2 for this one, I could ignore some of the cost of building this guard tower. Let's wrap up this era and then, I don't know, maybe do 1 more. I don't think I'm going to be able to show you a full 4 era, not with how long we do our videos. So now these sites get resolved. There are 2 negative sites. These are the things that you can explore and flip over. We haven't done that yet. There's also 1 positive site, but none of those are in play. Now we're doing feeding. So each of my people that's in the wilderness because somebody shoved them out or I didn't have space when I procreated, they have to eat 2 food, but people who are just in regular spaces only have to eat 1. You can, by the way, build farms on these little square spaces here, and then you don't have to feed at all. Well, sorry, the people on encampments don't have to eat anything, and people in the wilderness only spend 1, so it's a 1 discount per person. But in this case, if I don't want to have any of my people weaken and potentially die later, I have to feed each of them. So, whoops, that leaves me with 1 food. Now, the bot, when they're feeding, they first get to put down one of these little tokens, which are not resources for them. It is like food, basically. And it goes on the spot where they have the fewest, which is going to be here because both of these territories already have 1. And then in each territory where they have at least 1 of these, they're feeding people. So 1 of them feeds 1 person on an encampment. So here they have no starvation because they have 1, 2, 3. But if they had had more people, they would have had to tilt one of them down or even kill one of them off if one was already weakened. Now, they will get more of these, and if they get a second one, first of all, it blocks the farm space, so you can't build a farm there if you haven't already. But also that then feeds everybody on the encampments and 1 extra person in the wilderness, so they can eventually become pretty self-sufficient food-wise. But here, their extra feeding meant this guy didn't get weakened, so they're totally fine. Now, all of us get 1 point for every strong tribe we have on the board, which looks like it's 3 for each of us. So this is good. I'm actually tied with the bot, which was not the case in the last 2 games. Okay, now we go to the event phase, where we're going to come back to this event card from earlier. So first, the weather moves. In this case, I get a bonus, 1 income. The bot, by the way, doesn't do anything with this. So mine is to put down 1 resource, to get 1 idea, or get 1 food. I think I'll get the food, since I'm pretty much out after the feeding. Then I resolved the event, which was the most statues. Sadly, neither of us has any, so I don't get a free income thing, which would have been awesome. Statues are one of the things you can build, but they're only buildable on these building grounds. That's also where you can only build your settlements. But to build on this starting one, you need to get somebody onto a boat in here. Otherwise, you need to find them by flipping over sites, which we haven't done yet. Okay, now we get to do the scoring category, which is this one. Then we remove it to show we're not worrying about that much anymore. So we're each getting 5 times our progress of 4, so 20 each. Gets us both to 26. And then whichever player got the most from that scoring gets the first player token, but it switches hands if you tied. So in this case, he and I both got 20, so I get it for next round. And almost done. Now we get all of our income, and we score statues if there were any based on our Agera track position. So I'm just going to get another food with my income. I want to get a second income from finishing this up, because then I'll get double the stuff every time. And finally, to set things up again, we take away all of the hunting tokens so territories can be hunted again. And we refill our reset columns, which means you just go up here to show that you can get stuff from resetting again. All right, and that is one entire era. Note that we don't change our dice at all. The bot does not change their card, so they're actually probably going to reset on their first turn right away next time. But let's go into era 2, and like I said, just maybe play out one more. So we do new cards. We've got a new event. It's getting hotter, so we're going to need to spend an extra food or lose a person at the end of the round. And then whoever leads on the construction track is going to get something. I'm not going to read all that right now. But we're tied. Although with that being the era's focus, there's a good chance if they draw the right cards, they'll just go way ahead of me. So we'll see what happens. And we also, as I mentioned, flip up new cards. So they cover the old cards. If you're going to draw, you generally have to take the topmost card. But I don't even have time to worry about if any of those are good. Ooh, although, what the heck? This castle is worth 3. And I would need a tar, which I have, and stone, which I don't. But that can be remedied. Yeah, because that would catapult me into the lead for that. Ooh, and it would be a second building card for the goal I took last round. But something to worry about later. Hey, we got new goals. Speaking of, so I get to pick first. I don't have to take one. Knowledge I have 0. Boats I have 0, but I think I am going to build one this turn now that I have an enhanced building action and I'm next to the water. 2 people in mountains would be incredibly easy to do, because I literally just have to procreate. Yeah, you know what? I'll get that. Then we roll for whether the bot gets one. They get rid of the knowledge one. 1, 2, 3, 4. If they had rolled the 3 or a 5 or a 6, they would have done nothing. And then we fill in, oh God, 3 food. Get out of here, goal. And then having a farm and a person on the desert. I don't know if that's very thematic. Okay, now we get to do our extra find. Here's what I was thinking. Remember, you can pick any terrain type, any territory type where you have a tribe, but you don't have to do the good that it actually makes. So if I get a stone to go with the tar I already have, I'm ready to build it up, baby, if I can just get the card. And how do I get a card, you might ask? Well, the research action is one of the main ones. You can get one of the face-up cards or the topmost card from one deck, or draw 2 cards from one or more decks and then pick one you want. So I think I'll probably be doing that pretty soon. Oh, pretty soon. Let's do it now. All right, so let's see. To do research, I need a 1 and a 2, so let's use an idea. And yeah, I'll grab the castle, which uncovers the observatory that I don't really care about. So in a future turn, I can build that, and again, it'll be going above the guard tower, which means I'll need to fulfill both the tar and the stone cost, unless I got some settlements out, which I don't have any of yet. All right, and but I assume, yep, is planning, or not planning, resetting, which starts this on its track. And now for me, you know what? Might be a bit wasteful, but I am going to do 3 and a 4 to plan, and I'm going to do the right option, not the goal, because I'm not ready yet. So I can put 2 of these on the same spot, and I want to lock in these 6s, because now before I reset, I can do a 4 and a 6 to build my building card. Oh, and that's right. I can ignore 1 cost, so I didn't have to get the stone. Well, I guess that's okay. Or I could just build 2 actual things. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. Well, let's have the bot take their action first. It is their last one, by the way, so they're just going to shuffle their discard pile whenever they're out of cards. And let's see what they're doing. They are procreating and then adding some food. All right, and all of these places count as a priority because they all have free spots. So we roll for territory type, swamp, mountains, grassland. So they're procreating here, which gets them a victory point. And then they're putting down more food. They first want the place where they have the fewest, but it's all tied. Then they want the most tribes because they want to feed them. So they have now locked me out of making a farm here, and all these dudes will be good to go eating-wise. All right, back to me. Let's do a 6 and a 4. And do I want to do the card with a discount I don't really need? Or do I want to build 2 buildings, which seems kind of like a good thing to do because I could get my boat out. Oh no, I don't want to build the boat yet because when you build a boat, you can migrate somebody from adjacent to it onto it for free. But I don't want to abandon this spot since territories are worth a lot. So I probably want to procreate first, then do that. Okay, so instead, let's build the castle. So I can ignore the tar or the stone. I'm looking at other cards. Neither one is needed right now, but tar is worth 3 money if I sell it, and stone's only worth 1. So I guess I'll do the stone. And remember, it has to go in the same column. I'm getting +3 to my construction. And there we go. 1, 2, 3, which means I get to either gain an Agera or an income. I think let's do Agera, and then I'll try to like get a statue going soon or something. Ooh, we might finally get some exploration if they roll a 3 or higher, which they did. So they're going to explore and then gain their own Agera thing. So when you take the explore action, you get to flip every tile that is adjacent to one of the territories you have tribes in. And they're looking for the one that'll flip the most. So the hill is next to 2, the grassland's next to 2, because that's the swamp right there. And the forest is next to 2 as well. So once again, we roll off, and we got grassland. And these can be positive or negative, and my mountain is right here, so this could be good or bad for me. And it's very good! So it's a building ground where I can build settlements or statues. Heck yeah. And then, oh my gosh, it's a glacier. This is not great. I might want to leave there because it is getting them, by the way, immediate victory points. 1 for the building ground and 4 for the glacier, 5 total. So they're up to 32. But in the site phase, in each glacier place, people who have tribes adjacent to it have to weaken one of them or eventually kill them. Unfortunately, the bot is not affected by this because they don't know where anything is. But yeah, I really might want to migrate this dude out of there and just let them have the gold-bearing grasslands to themselves. Coming back to me, it's definitely time to reset. I used every die I had, so we're going to move the reset thing, and let's roll it off. Okay, I got another 6. 1, 2, 3. Oh, God, never mind. I was going to say it's very balanced, but I'm missing 4s and 5s. With that in mind, I think I've got enough food at the moment. Let's get ideas instead. And the era marches right along. All right, back to them. Oh, they're already at 4 blue. And what are they getting? They got a 1, so they're getting technology, and they're trashing the top invention card. But hey, honestly, that's great, because at this point, that's only worth 1 victory point at the end of the game instead of the 5 it was a second ago from the era bonus. All right. So what do I want to do now? I'd like to be able to build a statue or a settlement. The boat to build is totally free. You can just build it, it's there, you're good to go. Same thing for farms, they don't cost any resources. But settlements cost whatever the indicated cost is there. We don't have any papyrus or an easy way to get it. I don't have any stone. Oh, I guess I should have kept stone instead of tar. I don't have any wood. And then for the statues, this one needs stone or iron ore. And this one needs, is that gold? That is gold. So I can build on that one. So I could do a boat, then a statue. I think you can chain the build there since the boat would let me move somebody there. But that's right. I wanted to procreate, which needs a 2 and a 5. Okay, so I'll spend 1 idea to turn my 6 into a 5 and do the 2 and 5. And yeah, I'll procreate right here to get the 1 bonus. And then I'll be ready to build next time. All right, pretty good chance they will. Yep. Oh, actually, exactly what they needed. 4 red, 4 blue, so they are resetting as well. We got 2 more resets before the era is potentially finished. All right, now I want to build. I guess I'll use another idea to change a 3 into a 4 and use my saved 6. And first I'm going to build a boat. Goes in here where I am next to. And then I can do a free migrate. And yeah, I think I don't want to I forget why I should give them. I had an argument last time. So yeah, they get to move onto there. They can move from there to any adjacent spot. Also, the boat comes with a good that I can collect, and that good can count as any revealed adjacent good. So right now it would only count as wood, which is not that amazing. But I immediately have access to the building ground, and I will spend my 1 gold, even though it is very valuable, to create a statue here, which currently is going to be worth 2 victory points for me at the end of every era, so 6 for the entire game. That's not too bad. But hey, if I can get my Agera up at even 1 more time, it'll be worth 9 for the rest of the game. Of course, I wish I'd gotten that before that event went off that would have rewarded me for it. Next era's scoring, which is prosperity. So they're just going to do this twice and trash a random income tile. 1 and 2 is the first one, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. So they're getting rid of that one, which would have given me the 2 eyeballs I need to get those cards I want to play. But that's okay, because you immediately replace it on a Agera roll to raise up your prestige. Well, now with me being on a 1 to 3 and having 2 pink dice, that would be pretty locked in. But to get an income, I need to either build these settlements, which isn't happening right now. We don't have those goods easily accessible. Or I could build anything. So, yeah, if I can just get another vision, that's fine. Which needs what? 2 and a 6. And I don't have any ideas. I mean, I could use my focus as a wild. It's just a little, maybe a little early for that. Fine. Okay, so I'll use my focus as a wild 6 and a 2 to do mutation. Not for a car, which would be more exciting, but to move. Which one? I don't know. I guess intelligence to vision. Yay, now I can finally play these other cards if I ever get any more 6s. All right, back to the butt. They are, what are they doing? Migrating. Clearly, they're going to do it from the grassland where they have a second guy, and they're going towards 6 is, desert. So they're going over there from the fire one to there to get 2 victory points. And now there is, what is that, rice? Salt. I was about to say, I don't think you get rice from the desert. All right, and I could sleep or migrate. Nah, I'm just going to go ahead and reset early. So one more reset will end the era. Do I want any of these? The cards I can play are Achievement, which is 5/6, or Mutate, which is 2/6, and now I'm not keeping any of these. All right, here we go. Okay, that looks pretty good. At least got a 6, a 5, no 2s, so I guess I will be going for the Achievement one. And then I don't have any ideas right now, but I also barely have enough food to feed. Oh, no, I don't have enough food to feed my people. But I am on a water now, and water offers the best hunting. What do I need for sustenance? A 2 and a 4. Even 2, I would need more ideas to make that happen. Okay, I'll get food. Alrighty, and okay, they already have 4 reds. What are they doing? They're doing the eyeball, not eyeball, what is that called? Magnifying glass. And they're also trashing the top card there. So I guess socialism will never be discovered, so it goes. All right, there we go. 6 and 5. Achievement. I am not getting more dice. I am building this. Oh, it's another point bonus. Point bonus. At the end, I have 2 vision. I'm just doing level 1. So I'm going to get 2 of the knowledge. But I'm also, come on, going to, since I completed this row, get an income tile. So let's resolve the knowledge first. Oh, I get to upgrade something with a 3 in it. Migration, nah. Activity, nah. Planning is, again, a really good one. Production would be pretty darn nice. Or insight to get a bunch of ideas. Nah, I think I'll go for production. So now I can add 3 goods whenever I take that action, and I don't have to roll for the chance to gather one of them. Okay, but then I'm also getting from my complete row an income tile, and I get to resolve it immediately. So that would get me more gold tiles, but I already have 2. Oh, that's right, I do have 1 I can finish. I forgot about that. I'm not anywhere near a desert. I don't want to spend that much. Oh, wait, what am I doing? I'm looking at the wrong thing. That gets me money. But no, I think going up the tracks, and this is a double track that I haven't even moved up at all yet. That seems like the one to do. Now, this, again, is a wild. So where do I want to put it? I want to work towards finishing row 2. Which of these am I least likely to build more of? I feel like the achievement one, that'll also give me a bonus. So bloop. And then I get to immediately roll to try to increase my prestige. I need a 1 to 3 on either of these. That was cocked. I guess I should roll it again. Hey, there we go. All right, so first one doesn't get me anything, but then I'll get an upgrade in a little bit. And again, that's 2 victory points every time that happens. So what did I get for that? Placing this one was worth 2. Placing this was worth 3 more, so that's 5. 2 victory points from raising the thing up, plus that's worth 1 for each. So yeah, that was good. That was good in a lot of ways. But they might trigger, nope, not yet. The last thing of the era, a 6. Okay, they're gaining another feature. That's fine, they're only at 4. All right, I cannot rest yet because I have more than 3. So I could do migration, but I don't really want to do that. I could do, that's it. I could just do migration. Oh, I guess I could do one of these, but that seems dumb. Now I'm just going to sleep. Yeah. So I can get 1 focus or 2 ideas. Let's get the focus because that's a whole free die in the future. And then I'll probably reset if they don't. Although that would be pretty surprising. Nope, they are resetting. So since, that's right, I'm the first player. So I get 1 turn, then they get 1 turn, and that's the end of the era. So are there any crises? I'm getting a ton of points from the track I'm on, so that part's great. I've got enough food for my people, although just barely. So, like, hunting would be a good thing very soon. And again, the ocean is the best place to hunt. You can get up to 5 food there. So that guy on the boat is money in the bank. Oh, crap. I was just looking at something that would let me build a statue. And I forgot that whenever you build a statue, you get to raise up one of your tracks. Let's raise a blue up again. Yeah, because then I get another upgrade. Sustenance, no. Planning would still be good. Building's already maxed out. Yeah, let's get planning. Because that's pretty awesome to get 3 actions for the price of 2 on a number you know you're going to need a lot of. Wait, that's not a 3. What was I raising up? No, that's right. That's blue. Yeah, 4. Okay. But yeah, now back to my final action. I do think I'm going to reset since I'm allowed to. So even though the thing is already on the track, you don't care about that. But I do get to roll my dice. I guess I'll just roll them all. I'm not really sure what I want to do since I'm going to stop recording in a second anyway. Well, that's... Maybe I should do achievement again and get some more dice with that roll. And then, should I get another food? Because I'm about to run out. No, I'm trusting the hunting on my boat, so I'm going to get an idea instead. All right, that's it. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Oh, I forgot to move my guy. Crud. So the glacier is going to knock him down to weak side, which means I can't even migrate him anymore. So unless I use a whole action to stand him up, I think he's probably just going to die. In fact, with that being the case, I don't think I'm even going to feed him. Like, who cares? I know that's harsh, but I'll just spend 3 food for my other guys and let him go. Because I don't expect him to be worth anything in the long run, and I would just lose him from the glacier next time. As for the bot, they don't have anything here? All right, so that guy actually does lay down, but they're totally fine, and then they can each feed 1. So that's cool, at least. And then they're getting 3 points, and so am I for strong people. Ooh, I forgot. I'm glad I kept a food, because the temperature is going up, and I'm going to spend it, so I don't have to lose another guy. All right, and then we're doing the event. I didn't even really look at it. So I do lead on the track. May either gain all stored materials, has a building cost in front of what's available settlements, so I can get a settlement, or build a statue for free and gain the progress checked gain. That's a tough call, because I could advance my construction to get 4 more victory points immediately, and get another statue for 2 more victory points immediately, so that'd be 6. But alternatively, I could get all of the goods for my most expensive settlement, because you don't have to build them in order, which is worth 3 prosperity when I uncover it. And prosperity is what's being checked next round. So that'd be 9 victory points once I build this. Plus, whenever you build a settlement, you get another income chip, and you get to resolve it immediately, and that's filling out your stuff more. So now that seems like the way to go. So what am I getting? I'm getting a sand and an iron ore and a clay. That was an insane event. Thank you so much. Wait, am I reading this right? They gain all stored materials that are depicted as a building cost in front. Oh, let me check they have an appendix that like goes through everything. So which event is this? Building progress, F9. Yep, I did it right. That's awesome. So I get, and even the example is what I did. Sand, iron ore, clay. Awesome. That was lovely. Okay, now we score. Oh, this is going to be so pretty. This is so much better than I did in my last 2 games. It's a little bit of a synergy and just rolling right and getting the right cards, but some of it is, I think I'm playing better. I hope I'm playing better. Okay, so we're getting 4 each. Times 2 is 8. Times 6 is 24. Which, hey, I think for the first time in 3 games means I'm ahead by, how much? Not 10. Not even 10 points, but still better than I've been doing. And it's not done yet. I get income and statues. And yeah, they haven't built any statues yet because they just automatically build them in a center. An actual player is limited to 2 statues or 1 settlement and a statue on each building ground. So I can get like 1 settlement here and 1 settlement here, but they can just build infinite statues here and they just get the points for them. But yeah, so I'm getting 2 points for that. And then my income, this has got to be food. I am out. Well, although I am about to hunt on the water, right? Like that's what I'm planning to do. So maybe I get the idea, or I could get a good place for me to gather. I'll get food. All right, let's roll for prestige again. Yeah, thank you for my Agera upgrades. So I get to level up a 2. Oh, that reminds me, by the way, I haven't done my goal yet for having built 2 buildings. Activity would let me do 2 different activities, but I only have 1 right now. Research would let me dig deeper. Sustenance lets me, unweaken my guys. Procreation could let me, I think it lets me procreate twice. But people are not worth that much this time, so it's not as good. What would mutation do? I would let me move 2 of those things instead of 1. No, none of these are very exciting. I guess, honestly, research might be the best. Because, yeah, then if I, like, really want another building that, like, matches the resources I have, I can dig for 4 cards or dig from multiple decks and find something I might need. Okay. All right, and that gets rid of the hunting stuff, and we reset, and that's really going to be it. And yeah, I'm blown away that I'm doing as well as I am, because in my other games, they've been so far ahead of me, like crazy style ahead of me. Because they don't have this. They don't get any victory points from this whole thing. So, like, I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 11, 14, 17, and it just keeps on getting higher. So you tend to get a ton of points from this. So the bot is really supposed to be, like, 10, 20 ahead of me. So the fact that I'm winning is kind of awesome. Although, again, I am getting lucky, and also I'm using just blue side of things. So that's kind of how it goes. But yeah, that was Civolution, half of a game. There would be 2 more eras in the full game. And I'm going to try to do a review of this one when I get a chance, so check that out later. Might not be until next year. But thanks for watching, everybody, and a special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, J. William F., Steve Wren, Pedro Lucas, Miles, KCW, Andrew R., and Chris C. We'll see you at the next stop.